Starbucks employee. He was making me like a tea lemonade. Like, those things are so good. But there was some still left in the container, and I was like, what are you gonna do with that? Huh? A little left over. You're gonna throw that in the garbage? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage when he said that, and I was like, woo, you don't give a shit. Like I've had a few jobs in food where if you're eating, you're out of view of everyone. My first job was at a bakery, and I don't know why, I just didn't think that would be a rule, so I would just be, oh god, so embarrassing. I would just be eating openly, like baked goods, like throughout the day, and customers would come in and be like, oh sorry, let me just finish eating them. And that, like, I was like 15, I don't know, it was like my first job. My boss was like, okay, I can't believe I need to tell you this, but you can't just be eating, you have to never be caught eating, and I never forgot that lesson. I think that if I've ever been caught eating, I've been like, oh my god, I'm so, like, just like covering my mouth and just being like, I'm so sorry, you're not supposed to see this.
But you know, I think it would be good advertising. You're eating the product.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I was like, this cheesecake is good. You should have some.
I love your voices.
I know.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. So you have a great laugh too.
Thank you.
Recognizable laughs in the audience when there's a comedy.
A lot of people can, if they're on stage and they hear my laugh, they know that it's me in the audience. And I have people, I'll be not at a show. This happened with my friend Leanne the other day, and she was like, "Were you at this show? I heard your laugh." And I was like, "No, someone else stole my laugh because I was not there."
You're not allergic to cannabis, are you?
I'm not allergic to anything. I just have a terrible cough that I've had like since like the 5th grade. I've just had I've had my lungs x-rayed. I've been to the hospital, and like I think the closest that they ever came to diagnosing me was I got prescribed a puffer. My mother, who I love to death, she's crazy sometimes. She's just like, oh my god, puffers are steroids. My daughter's not taking steroids. Like, I don't want her to start growing hair in all these places that she's not really into growing hair in. Like,
and then you get older and you're like, the hair grows in weird places.
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. Top of my toes. And every now and then,
oh my god, right?
I'm like, maybe I should shave, and I'm like, no. I'm not shaving the top of my toes.
No,
why should I have to? I don't. It's okay.
Are they long?
They're kind of long because I refuse to shave them.
That's why.
I won't do it. I'm like, that's a beauty standard that I can't care about.
Do you shave in general?
I shave my armpits. I trim my pubic hair. I don't shave it. I don't get a wax. I trim it.
Yep.
Maintain it. I don't shave my legs.
How short?
That's awesome.
How short? I try to keep them like not a quarter of an inch. Like
a grain of rice?
Like a grain of rice. That's a perfect.
And that's what, you know.
Oh my god.
Right?
Really? That's crazy.
Sugaring is the best way to do it.
Sugaring
is
awesome.
it?
It's natural.
It sounds nice
is
too.
edible.
You want to get
delicious.
sugar?
You can eat it.
Exactly.
What? I had a wax one time ever. I hated it. It was the worst. I got it on a Groupon. Which was already a terrible idea. It was for my boyfriend's birthday. He got like it's funny because he also got a Groupon, but it was for a trip to Niagara Falls with like a casino voucher and like a dinner voucher and all sorts of stuff. And I was trying to figure out a creative gift. And I was like, it'd be funny if I got a wax. Because it's like, make it different. I got it the day we were supposed to take the bus, and afterwards it looked like I got stung by a swarm of bees.
Oh, was it like kind of?
Oh my god! I looked at my crotch and I was traumatized. The lady was rude. She told me the hair was too long. She was like, usually people trim it when they come in. I'm like, well, no one told me that.
Exactly.
I've literally never heard that.
I'm surprised she didn't offer that
Exactly.
service. Because some, well, at least in the sugaring, some will trim in order to make it easier. Because otherwise it's hard to like wax.
Yeah, I had no idea. I went in with I went in with my money's worth,
Wow, trim the lawn before you mow it.
Yeah, but because it was your first time, that's why you.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I was like, this is not. the kind of thing I want to do again. But maybe it's just a bad first experience. Maybe I gotta try sugaring.
Yeah, when it happens, you have to ice it.
Why wasn't this a topic in health class?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's practical information.
You said you don't shave your legs?
I don't
And
shave
is
my
that,
legs.
that's a social
I have a
statement of
rule.
medical
I
statement?
shave my legs for money. I shave my legs when I'm getting paid money to have my legs on display. That is when I shave my legs.
And when do you have
Makes
your
me
legs
feel
on
like-
display?
I do some event. Oh, gross! I touched something gross. Oh no, go away.
It's a used prop.
We don't know. We don't know what it was.
You know-
I definitely know what it was, but I'm pretending no one saw. Oh God.
Could be anything.
What were we? Oh yeah. Okay. So if I get hired to do kind of like event work, I have a friend who runs a promotion company called The High Five. We do like cute outfits, and we wear the green wigs. If you ever see on like social media, for like the 420 rally,
that's right.
or like March or any Pride. We did Pride. I did my Pride with them this year. We were in the parade. We were at the very end. It was super fun. But yeah, so it is like a very aesthetically based job in that sense. So if I either wear like stockings or like I feel like having my legs shaved is part of that aesthetic, and I don't have a problem doing it. But it's like a rule I made for myself is I don't shave my legs unless I'm getting paid.
Are they very hairy?
They're not that. Well, the hair doesn't even grow that long, and it's kind of like light brown.
Yeah.
So it's like, who even cares? I wear, like, in the summertime, I got my bathing suit on. I have my, sometimes I worry a little bit that someone's going to look at it, like, notice it, and then they're going to be like, whoa, that hair is longer than I thought it would be. How gross is she? But at the same, there's, like, a worry about that, but at the same time, it's like there's nothing dirty about hair.
There's nothing dirty about it.
And there's like this weird social connotation where if you have hair on a woman's body, armpit hair. I had armpit hair for like a year and a half, and that was one where there was a point, I think it was when I started doing comedy, where I was just like, if I have someone see this and it could just like, I don't know, I got so insecure about it that I was like, for my own comfort, I'm just gonna get rid of them. I've kind of gotten used to not having the hair, and I have the preference not have it. I think that there's some women who pull it off really well.
I think it's really sexy.
It is. I totally agree. I do not, I don't think it's unsexy. I think that it's just not my look anymore. Sometimes I'm like, I want a beard. Like, I like having something to, I play with my hair though. I am constantly running my fingers through my hair, and people are always telling me, like, oh, you look neurotic. And I'm like, I don't care if I look neurotic. It's soft. I want to be reminded how soft it is. Multiple times throughout the day.
Very soft.
Thank you. I dye the crap out of it. I'm worrying that it's starting to get...
The great thing is it just continues to grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop growing. Unless you die, then it definitely...
Wait a minute. I think your hair continues to grow after death.
See, I've heard that,
So
but I
imagine,
don't think
like-
that's true.
Really?
No, I don't think it's true.
I feel like I've seen pictures.
You've seen... Well, I think that people thought that because if you looked at a corpse, their hair looked longer because there was less of them.
True.
So it made the hair look longer. Yeah, I think that's an urban legend. I think your hair... Otherwise, it'd be uncovering... tombs just full of hair and
That
like
would be
coffins full of
terrifying.
hair,
With really long hair.
like cousin it.
Maybe it's just really
Right,
slow
that doesn't-
process. Maybe it grows and it's really, really slow. I don't know. How
Takes
about nails? Is that true for
hundreds
nails?
of thousands
Do nails
of
just
years.
fall off? Do they die?
They don't.
They
None
cease
of
to
that
exist
stuff.
when you're in the grave?
That
I
stuff.
think that's
When you
silly.
die, you don't grow anymore. I think we can. I'm stomping these out right now.
Otherwise, we know men would have erections in the coffin as well.
So have you always been funny?
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. I haven't always been good at being funny. Sometimes Just if I'm feeling like anxious, and there's that part of me that's like, how do you dispel anxiety? You use humor, but like being bad at it also, like trying to be funny, and instead saying something that's more like just quiets the room, and it's like, what was that? And it's like, oh shit, like I do that constantly, and I think I'm like intuitively funny, like naturally funny. Like the less I worry, the less concerned I am about being funny, the funnier I am. Oh my god, yes, I keep touching something gross on the bench, and it's like my hands like magnetically. It's wet. I didn't want to tell the listeners any details so that they could think that I didn't have that happen to me, but it's wet. Now you know. You know, we're recording a podcast. It's okay. It's just, I feel that's okay. It's, you know, it's hard to tell. It looks like we're just having fun, which we are, but we have a little recorder.
If this was a camera and video instead of audio, would it feel different?
I don't know. I have a tendency to change when I'm being observed. I've noticed that about myself, and I think that it's like something that I need to work on, because when I'm more candid, I think that that's when I'm really at my best, and sometimes I get like nervous when there's pressure. I don't think I'm being inhibited at all by this recording, but I don't like seeing myself on camera. Seeing myself on camera weirds me out, because it's like, oh no, I'm seeing myself the way everyone sees me. Oh, that's the nightmare. Oh God, like I just want to be in my head, like looking at everyone else, or even like the sound of my own voice weirds me out. Like the more regularly I listen to like recordings of me doing stand-up, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, you get used to it, and then if I don't for a while, I'm like, oh, it's the voice again. When I do karaoke, like I practice. When I'm at home, I'm like, all right, maybe like, you know, I sing this song a lot so that if I see it in a karaoke book, I'm ready for it. Like, I love to perform. I love writing material, and I think it's really important that even if you're like an in-the-moment kind of performer or comic, you still try to tighten your writing muscles, because writing can happen on the spot. You can write an entire joke using just your brain and a microphone, and it can be like a complete joke, and then you have that. Hopefully you record it. That's why I started recording, because I have missed out on a lot of what I think are opportunities to have material and things that I just winged. Like I've done a lot of sets, not a lot. I want to do more. It's hard to like decide to do a set that's totally improvised material, but I've definitely done like 10 minutes with like a notebook on the stage and then not touched a single joke, and had a lot of fun and had a really good reaction from the audience. And it's something that's hard to do every time you do stand-up. And I find it's really hard to like decide, you know what, for a month, I'm just gonna improvise every set that I do. Because some of those shows, there's pressure to do well. Maybe there's someone you want to impress. I think that it is a very supportive community in ways that kind of surprise me all the time. There are times where it is especially towards women, it can be really intense. And there's a lot of not listening happening whenever women try to talk about serious problems, like some of the harassment that occurs, and a lot of it's very like sexually targeted harassment. Like, I think that it's a common experience for a woman who is hosting a stand-up show to be harassed by one of the acts. I think that it's more so that's like in the open mic kind of section, like it's considered unprofessional if you do it the higher up you go, but it's still like that's an environment where new comics are starting. Like if we don't fix the problems on the ground floor, we're not going to get new women, and we have so many new women. I mean, I'm a new woman comic, 3 years, so I'm definitely still like figuring things out all the time, trying to like remind myself that like there's so much to learn. But I find that the more women there are in comedy, it creates like a momentum of more women who want to do comedy, or more like trans people who want to do comedy, making things more gender inclusive, really important. And like trying to, if the harassment occurs, trying to create a community where you can talk about it or find ways to get away from it and do something about it.
You're like a comedic activist.
There's a lot of rooms that are centered around being safe spaces and not in like no one has to hear anything that's like political or like a little intense on the subject matter. It doesn't mean that. It just means your race isn't going to get targeted or like your gender is going to get targeted by the comics on stage. Like it's that kind of focus. I think it's really important, and it can get shut down a lot because you get a lot of people being like, oh, safe spaces, like you're a bunch of sissies, like the world's not a safe space. You're like trying to like live it. Yeah, it's like a weird, and it's like first of all, safe space. It's not like we're not making jokes that are kind of important issues or whatnot, but like there's like a lot of head bumping, bashing, I don't know. It's like a whole thing. A lot of comedians don't do politics because they don't know how to make it funny. Funny's the most important thing. If something's like really racist and it's also hack, like that just doesn't work.
What's hack?
Hack means kind of like outdated or like really jokey and not like subtle, like in the same way that like knock jokes, you never fucking cry laughing at a really tight knock joke. No one's ever like knock who's there, and you're like, oh fuck, you got me. Like that's not, you're adorable, I get it.
Would you ever do a podcast?
Like my own podcast?
Your own podcast.
I have a terrible, like, laziness problem where I understand that putting effort into things in your free time is really fun and pleasurable, and, like, something like having your own podcast is really cool, but at the same time, like, I work a lot. And I always have, like, something that's a job that's, like, very physically demanding, which I like. I like to, like, stay busy in that sense, but I find my free time, I love dogs.
Yeah. Dog walking?
My friend's a dog, one of my best friends is a dog walker, but I don't think I could do it. See, because it sounds adorable and great, but it just also is so much responsibility.
It is a lot of responsibility.
What if you lose a dog?
Well, you just don't create that mindset.
Well, I already did, so I'm really not.
You can't change anything.
I'd love to have a podcast. I always have these like fun. I'm one of those idea people who can't get anything done. It would take me 5 years to get a podcast. I like being right in front of people all the time. I'm like a terrible extrovert. I'm a huge extrovert. I love being around people constantly. I don't even understand how that's possible, but it's true. Like I don't lose energy when I'm constantly surrounded by people. I think that's why I can do customer service jobs, because I can talk to like 10,000 people in a day and be fine.
And do you know why that is?
I think it's because it's like every interaction with people is almost like an opportunity to learn more about people and what kind of interactions you can have. And because I like to be funny, I try to find new ways to like interact with people where there's a boundary where they're like they're a customer and I'm an employee. Find ways to interact with them where it's something that is like funny. It's a small window times 10,000. So it's interesting, and then you pick up on patterns and like body language. I have a theory that I'm like too weird for normal people and too normal for weird people. Like I'm in that sweet spot of like smart but like socially kind of awkward. Yeah, I think I'm pretty middle of the road, and I do think that like really normal people think I'm more nuts, and nuts people think I'm a square. Like that's me, and it's just like.
How do you see yourself?
I see myself as a little more on the weird side. But I do think I'm a good balance of like level-headed and crazy. I think I'm both at the same time.
But I bet you have such a fun life.
I do all right. Like being famous isn't like the goal, I don't think. And there's a great Cameron Diaz quote about fame that I'm totally forgetting, so I'm going to paraphrase it, but she's just saying that like being a talented actress and being famous should not be the goal, right? Being like your goals should be the goal. Yeah, okay, listen. I don't know. I don't remember what she said. But look it up. She just said the word goal over and over and over again, and I was really impressed by it. Anyway. I find myself around comics most of the time, and something that I've noticed, not just with me, but with other comics who are women and who delve into like sexually charged topics, we get like assumed to be like easy, and it's kind of like, no, this is my art, like please don't, this is my writing, this is my work, this is not an invitation, this is not a hint, like go away.
Really
yeah, I have like a partner who I've been like monogamous with for the most part for like a year and a half, so like when we're both comics, so I guess being tired has affected my sex life from like staying up late and doing shows and whatnot.
Are you guys open with each other? You said for the most part?
I did an episode of Amanda Day's Date Fail podcast. So listen to that and you'll know the answer to that question.
I like how you're making the listeners do some research.
Yeah, look me up. You have to dig for a while. It's like 200... I've Googled myself, and it's like Ricky Gervais and some posts of this woman named Lucy Pinder, who's hotter than me. I'm like, shit! I've got this like British asshole and this hot, like, she's not a porn star, but I'm sure she sells underwear. Someone buys underwear that she wears. And then like my IMDb page that does not have a picture on it is like buried under that.
Would you ever feel comfortable selling your used underwear?
I have tried, and I have.
Really? This is the thing.
For $60 a pair,
course.
I'll buy 10,000 pairs of underwear and wear them. Oh, the momentum of just using that money to buy more underwear.
Right?
It's like using wishes to buy more wishes.
Imagine that being your livelihood?
I mean, I think that I don't even like getting hit on by guys.
Yeah.
Let alone being like, here's my underwear, be cool though. Like, no, hey, listen, be normal, this is normal. Like, that's gotta take some of the fun out of it for them. But the money is there. Like, some people are like $40, $60, $80 a pair. I have a friend who has sold things of hers on Craigslist, like items, and she's telling me this, and I'm like, how the hell did you sit in a Starbucks washroom and shit into a Tupperware container? Like, how did you do that? That's great. That's great that you did. I'd never make you feel bad, but I could not. I would be sitting there with my Tupperware container and be like, oh God, I need to leave. You know, and I'd be like, here's my plastic bag. Like, I've written the Craigslist posts and then just chickened out every time. I get so jealous of people who are like, oh my God, my friend in Dubai. I'm like, how am I going to make a friend in Dubai? I gotta go to fucking Dubai now? Like... Maybe I should pay rent first. Like, there's priorities there. I buy too many, like, coffees to be able to go to Dubai.
We're going to do an episode where we take a few of the guests to karaoke.
Oh my
and
God.
do a thing. So would you like to be in it?
Yes.
I'm thinking her and Sofar and Trucker Dan.
Oh my God, Trucker Dan.
Yeah.
I love Trucker Dan. Give me a CD.
Karaoke. Yeah.
Does he really? What is he saying?
There's a recording of him singing Crying by Roy Orbison.
Oh, he's not singing while crying. That's what I thought. I was like, whoa, Trucker Dan, like, gets real. He just, the sound of his own voice makes him weep. That's what I thought you meant. I thought that was, like, illegal. I thought it was illegal to mail underwear. And I don't know, I swear to God, I read somewhere. I don't even know where, but I read somewhere that someone got in trouble because someone opened up their mail and there was underwear in it, and you can't do that. I'm gonna look that up. Let people do what they want, but I think that maybe if you're a postal worker, you want to know that you're never handling someone's underwear.
But it's packaged. So
I know. I know. They're
no one will
being
really ever know,
babies about it.
I feel like I just want to send used underwear into the postal world just
Yeah,
for
like
kicks.
fuck up the address, write anthrax on it or something, make them open it, and then they're like, oh no, we got pranked. You're gonna ruin that guy's day. You're gonna fuck up his day. So like, why? Like, he's not gonna believe in God anymore. Like, I share chapstick, I share deodorant. If someone's like, oh, I need deodorant, I'm like, you get some mine. I carry deodorant with me literally everywhere I go.
Wow.
Everywhere I go.
You know who she is? She's every girl's best friend.
What?
Isn't she? But you're genuine. Like, I feel
Thank
like
you.
You have no attitude. It's awesome.
Oh my God. I have a terrible attitude. See, because I've been getting told that I have an attitude like my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. And it's frustrating because I'm like, really? Because it feels like I'm just standing up for myself.
That's probably, yeah.
Like, just the one place that I've worked where multiple times I had people, oddly enough, with attitude problems tell me a bad attitude.
I'm so totally entertained by you.
I know.
I love your energy.
I know.
I love the way
you.
you're awesome. You just flow with all of this wit.
It's just, you just have to be.
Whoever you are in the moment,
you just
right?
have to, exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to, don't do anything crazy. Just be, and like, don't do anything insane. Like, don't set anything on fire. Unless it's appropriate.
Like your underwear.
Yeah. Exactly what I
It
meant.
comes back to the underwear. I don't know for some reason.
Underwear is a topical issue.
Technically it is.
I think so. I feel like we've been talking forever.
We're actually coming home with you.
So you come to my house.
Oh yeah, this is the podcast
Oh,
where
you
we
get to
stalk
meet
you.
all the other people I live with. We can have a lot of fun.
Is it better than Friends?
Like, it's very similar, but I find the people on Friends have too much of an easy time staying in touch with each other. I'm like, how do you see these people every day?
Yeah.
Every day?
Shit comes up, right?
Yeah, you're spending Christmas, like, what?
Christmas.
Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving. I'm like, you guys hate everyone else in your life. They don't see other people, even when they live on Friends. Like, when Phoebe's on the opposite side of the city, when she's not living with Monica.
Yeah.
Right? That's like early season shit. Where she was, it's like season 1. It's not even relevant anymore. But even when she's like somewhere else in the city, God knows where she's living, she's still always there. And she has like a roommate. I'm like, what? Like, it's like insane. I find with my roommates, we get along really well and we hang out a lot. But they are more inclined to go and spend time by themselves than I am. And so they'll be like, I just want to go and watch a movie by myself in my room. And I'm like, what? But I'm here. I'm here. I need you. What was the question? I was like, where is this coming from?
Is there a lot of dating between comedians generally?
Yeah, totally. Took me a second. I was like, do I tell the truth? Yeah, there's a ton of dating in between comedians. Like, there's some relationships that are really long term or whatever. There's a lot of hooking up that people do because you're in the same realm. People, like, there's a lot of attractive people doing comedy, or once you know someone for a while because you're in the same industry, they start to become attractive to you. All kinds of different kinds of people want to do comedy and do stand-up. And that's what's really great about it, because you have so many perspectives. I've known people who are super funny who, like, have, like, reputations. They're women. These are the only people who this could ever possibly happen to. It's women who get these, like, reputations for being, like, hooking up with a lot of comics, and then there's so many assumptions. Oh, they're easy. It's almost a running joke now that female comics have feminist secret Facebook groups that you don't talk to, like, the cisgendered heterosexual male comics about. They're all super impenetrable because no one's letting them in to, like, change anything. So they last for a while. It's really interesting. There's got to be some cool psychology there of, like, if we just don't let these like uber privileged guys into these groups, they can't change them and ruin them. Like, I hate to say that, but I think it would honestly compromise the groups that are formed, because it would change them. It'd be like, well, now you have to make space for us to have fun here. It's like, no, we didn't want to. We wanted to have fun here. We're learning that we don't want to be in the boys club because we don't like being in the boys club. The girls club is way more fun. It's way more fun to be in. When women try to enter that like men's zone, I find, and this isn't true of everyone, but I find this to be true of myself, there's a lot of self-compromising, there's a lot of like putting up with things, or like hearing or being exposed to things that you find gross, you know, like the idea of going to like the office party at the strip club, like being the only girl at the strip club, so you can fit in with all the male execs and stuff like that. That's not for everyone, right? So there's like a girls club. It's like we start our own club. Men are going to have a hard time getting in, and if they do, they're probably not going to have a ton of fun, and it's all ours, and we're having fun the way we like to.
Is that a tattoo on your hand?
Yeah, it is.
That is really cool.
Oh, it is a tattoo.
Thank you. And everyone thinks it's a
pink
stamp.
heart.
My sister and I have matching heart tattoos.
I love that. Did you get them at the same time?
We got them on my 18th birthday. We did them, they're stick and poke style. Hers is right here on her arm because the ink wouldn't take to her hand. But yeah, I got my friend to do it, and I went, there's like a tattoo supply shop down the street from my house. I went and bought like a little thing of the color, and we did them in a living room. It's cute. I also...
That is very cute.
I have a little X in my ear from the same night.
Look at that.
Yeah. I have a few tattoos that are in like very hidden spots, and I like it because people like discover them, and they're like, I didn't know you had it.
At the end, it's a message.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck yourself. Fuck you, bro. What? Why is your tattoo so mean to me? How much range does this like little recorder pick up? Is it like, can they hear me?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it'll be good.
This is just you two asking questions and no sound at all.
That would mean you're a ghost.
Or you guys are just crazy. Trust us, we have guests.
We were saying actually we want to do an episode where we interview a ghost.
Okay.
Would you want to be a part of that?
Can I be?
Yeah.
Not a ghost.
No. You wouldn't.
You know that, right?
We would talk to the ghost, like
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
we
If you fucking get me in front of a ghost,
a Ouija board.
let's do it.
Are you comfortable using a Ouija board?
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts. I stopped seeing what I thought was ghosts when I stopped believing in ghosts. So that's kind of why.
That's actually how it generally works.
If I met a ghost, then what am I gonna do? Pretend I didn't meet a ghost?
What would you say?
I'd be like, so you, like, do you get to go through walls? I'd like ask all those questions, like, what do you get to do? And they'd be like, I hate these questions. I get them all the time. Every podcast I do. So it's like, what's it like being a ghost? They don't want to know who I am or who I was in the former life. I want to talk about being alive too. Goddamn. It'd be great to talk to a ghost.
Yeah.
I'd be like, now, what do you really want to say to our listeners? Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about myself for like 5 hours. Probably. It's midnight right now. You're listening to the Strangers We Know podcast with Cyndi and Jessi. And my name is Lucy Grrvais. I'm a Toronto-based comedian. I run a show once a month at Yarns Untangled Yarn Store. Follow their Facebook page. We'll keep you updated. I host it, and we have an amazing bunch of mostly like feminist-friendly comedians. We try to not, be too biased. Let people perform. But yeah, it's a super fun show. And thanks for having me, ladies. This is super fun.
It's like Vietnam above our head.
Vietnam, and we're shooting this in Vietnam.
Live from Vietnam.
All these high people are like, are we in fucking Vietnam? How did I get here?